The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by SIDEBAR, its guests, callers, and advisors are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS Verizon Media Group. SIDEBAR, a 103.5 The Beat podcast, is a production of ILTV Studios and may not be reproduced or represented, in part or in its entirety, without the express written consent of Verizon Media Group. SIDEBAR is the intellectual property of Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
Welcome to SIDEBAR, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and today we have with us De'Angelo Whyms. It's a estate agent.
Man.
That's what the British people say.
Estate agent.
Right. And today we are talking about, real estate is the general thing.
Mm-hmm.
I fear that we may end up in different territories by the end of the conversation, but we'll figure it out. Let's ask the depressing question up front. Let's just get it out of the way. Will the average Bahamian, in your estimation, ever own their own home?
First off, I work for the average Bahamian. I have to deal with the average Bahamian on a daily basis. And they're attacking the market. They want to own their own home, but your question is, will they? They will. The answer to that is they will. The understanding as to the process that it takes to own a home is what may be lacking, but there is a process, and the first step you would need to take is get yourself a good agent so that you can be advised on exactly what that process looks like, what the steps are. Having information gives you a more realistic understanding of what you can do and what you can't do. So the first thing I would want them to do is get as much information as possible. But to answer your question, yes, it's a possibility. Is it an easy possibility? No.
So, what are the circumstances that a young person would have to happen for a young person to be able to say, all right, I can own my own home before 60?
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a big number out there. 60.
Okay. That gives them a lot of time.
Right.
That gives them a lot of time.
As opposed to saying, oh, you have your own home by the time you're 30 or 25 or something crazy.
And I'm gonna double down with you, and I'm gonna say, a young person can have their home as early as 25, as early as 30, and I've seen people do it because I've assisted these people from going from tenancy to ownership. And like I said in the initial question, the first thing you want to do is you want to get advised and have the right information in front of you. Now, if I'm 17 years old, I'm not particularly thinking perhaps about real estate, right? So for me, we need to get the information out earlier to 17-year-olds and to that demographic of individuals so that we can make them more understanding and literate on the process. That way you have individuals who are already coming out of school at a place of knowledge where they're understanding what they can do with real estate and the importance thereof.
All right, so I have two questions for you. I want to ask you the question then, what is it that you would tell a 17-year-old?
Okay.
All right. But at the same time, before we get to that, the internet, all over the internet, everybody keep on, I saw it a long time ago and then it went away, and now it looks like it's resurging, where there's this idea that, renting is better than owning your own home, right? Now,
okay.
The part of the internet that I'm on, the black socialist conspiracy theory part of the internet that I'm on are like, this is trickery by the man trying to keep you in debt for the rest of your life. But then the people, oh no, the benefits of renting is that you don't pour money in an asset that you have to keep fixing up and blah blah blah. And look at me, I have the.
Okay.
You're an estate agent.
Yes.
Renting versus owning.
Owning. I mean, owning all day. Let's understand the term land is wealth. Let's underline that a million times. Renting and I'm going to put it like this, because there's not a negative connotation to renting holistically, right? Because one of the tenets of surviving is ensuring that you have a roof over your head. So you're going to start at a place. The purpose of renting is not so that you stay there. Typically, it's more so that you're able to move from that tenancy situation into an ownership situation. Now, for the individuals that have a stake in renting or say that they think that renting is better than ownership, I would almost assume that these individuals have multiple businesses that are bringing in return for them to be able to facilitate this lifestyle where the only thing you're doing is paying someone out because you're not retaining any funds to go by renting. Yeah. Right? So if you are in a lifestyle where your rent is minimal, and yeah, that means you ain't in Nassau, right? Automatically. Okay, so if you in Freeport and your rent is very, very, very affordable, and you can afford to keep that and then make return on the side, and you say, this is the life that I can afford to live, and I think that this is better than ownership, that's a linear way of thinking simply because you haven't thought about the benefits of real estate. You haven't been privy to it. So if you think just about renting, and you're only privy to the knowledge of what renting does, then of course you're going to feel like renting is good. And if you got a lot of businesses out there that are bringing you back a lot of return, of course you're going to rent a condo and not have to deal with any of the overhead, HOAs, maintenance, all those things take precedence. So the HOA deals with all of the maintenance, all of the extra things that you would have to deal with as an owner, typically, right? So because of this, you can say, okay, renting is a better option for the millionaire, but for the regular Bahamian, no, ownership is everything. You want to be able to own what you got because at the end of the day, this is not just for you. It's legacy. It's generational. You can leave this. You can pass this on. This is something that you can have return on, investment on, as well as add value not only to your life, but the people's lives that you can impact in your family as well for generations to come. All right. Ownership is everything.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive in deeper into this. You are watching and listening to Sidebar 103 to B podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be right back.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Starling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Carry commercial vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Carry Cargo Van and the Carry Elephant Truck, and soon, flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you will need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
7.5 years, but I walk in here all of a sudden, total stranger. I'm calling you Rick and Sheila.
I win at Island Lock. We take sports seriously. Get ready to experience the thrill of winning anytime and any place. Bet in real time and live the thrill of every play while watching your winnings stack up. It's your chance to score big with fast payouts and a world-class experience. Get in the game and bet the Bahamian way with Island Lock Sportsbook.
Welcome back to Sidebar 103 to B podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. I'm here today with De'Angelo Whyms, estate agent. We're talking about real estate. I feel like I should just get over myself and package it better and say we're talking about how to build wealth, right? Because then everybody has perk up and say, "Oh, they teaching us how to get rich." Oh yeah,
That's what real estate is.
yeah. So okay, so like let's say you were talking to some 17-year-olds.
Okay.
All right. What would you tell them about it? Like, what would be the piece of advice that you give them with the knowledge that they 17? The most that any of them might be doing is they might be a parking boy, and that's like you might have access to what at the time seems like a massive amount of cash, but one, it's limited, and then two, in terms of time for value, but also that's not a sustainable thing. So it's like, what would you tell a 17-year-old? And listen to me, being sexist, saying a 17-year-old boy.
Okay.
17-year-old girls can be parking boys.
Yes, they can.
But what would you tell them?
So the first thing I want to say to a 17-year-old is, you're 17 now, right? That tells me that, we're out of school. We've already gone through school. We've done what we needed to do in school. If we didn't do what we needed to do, it's neither here nor there. The point is, what are we going to do now, right? I believe in a term, when you know better, do better. And in order to know better, you have to be taught this. You have to experience it. You have to have some kind of knowledge. So my first thing is to advise them. Give them all the information that it takes, and to let them know about the processes by which they can go from a parking boy who's making X, Y, Z, and what that looks like at the end of the year, what bad habits look like, what good habits look like, and what the goal of being an owner will look like. And we're gonna do this, we're gonna do a little exercise, and we're gonna write down a few things that you require to get to that goal. We're gonna say, hey, you need to be pre-qualified. You need to save your deposit. You need to then begin understanding the market, and you need a real estate advisor to help you do that. So once you have all of these tenants, then we go back over to 17 years old and the mentality that a 17-year-old has. I was 17, you've been 17.
At one point, yeah.
At one point, right? Long time ago.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when they're within the same breath, we know that there are a lot of factors and bad habits that 17-year-olds develop because of bad tutelage or bad environments. What we want to do is circumvent that by giving them information that's going to become good habits for them. And we want to help them create good habits. So we want to be able to give them a contrast between bad habits and good habits. I'm going to give you the guideline as to how to become an owner, how to go from a parking boy straight into, a few years from now, long-term thinking, following good habits, making good decisions, understanding the process behind it. This is how you're going to get from a parking boy to ownership. You are going to be able to now make a choice. The problem now becomes your choices, right? And as with everything, I'm going to show you how you can ruin this as well. You can go to the club on every Saturday. Every Saturday.
As soon as you're 18.
As soon as you're 18, you're hitting the clubs. So you can go to the club every Saturday, every weekend. You can buy yourself a brand new Honda, a brand new Suzuki, a brand new this. You can do all of these things, and you can spend money that way. Or you can put those things up against the list I gave you of how you're going to become an owner. And you can say to yourself, hey, this isn't on the list of becoming an owner. This isn't on the list of becoming an owner. I can't do these, because I want to become an owner. Then the question becomes for you, how bad do you want it? So I can teach you all the steps at 17, but you got choices to make because it's a long-term thing. It's not something that happens overnight. So you have to choose long-term to make this decision. And once you've made that choice, you follow the steps, you can't fail.
Right. So now that's the people who have long-term. And then I assume that it'll be like, hey, buy some mutual funds or government bonds or something.
Yeah.
Although convincing a child to buy government bonds,
it's not going to happen all the time.
It's also,
every now and again.
It's also a little difficult. I blame the government for that one, because I think that certain things should be easier to do, and that would be one of them.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Because as a grown man, I don't know where to go to buy government bonds. I just go to C-File and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't have a third person. I should be able to do.
Agreed.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there, right? for other persons, right? So 17 years ago, had this huge housing market crash inside the United States.
Okay.
The prices of houses did a thing. When is it going to be a buyer's market in the Bahamas? Because it's been years, and every year the price of everything just keeps going up and up and up. And I understand the argument of inflation, but you can't both have the argument of inflation and what they call it, inventory.
Okay.
Because you'll hear persons on the radio saying, "Oh, the inventory of houses is limited and this and that, ever." Well, is it?
It is.
Is it limited?
It is. Now, if you're asking about if land is limited,
No, I know land
is not limited.
I've seen it because if anybody, I invite anybody who lives in New Providence to pull out a map of New Providence. But before you pull it out, ask yourself, where is east, where is west? All right? And if you say the middle of the island is East Street, you're wrong. If you say the middle of the island is Town Center Mall, you're wrong.
Okay.
The middle of the island is the lake by Fusion.
Okay, because you're basing it on
But
the
I'm
entire length
saying-
of the property.
But I'm saying the fact that we geographically don't even have our bearings to say this entire island, the center is here. The majority of us live in a corner on the eastern side.
Okay.
That's why we feel over congested and say no space or whatever. Because
Agreed.
But that's not. It's about.
We're not looking at the big picture. Got it.
I'm talking about when are we going to have a actual buyer's market in the country, or will that never happen? Because you had COVID, we thought that might have been it.
We had a smidge of a buyer's market in COVID.
And they never reached me.
Were you in the market during that time?
I'm always in the market, man.
Okay,
I'm always in the market,
okay.
right? But you have these different moments where it's like, okay, you hear this happening, you hear that happening, outside things happening in the world, you think of fluctuation. You drive through the inner cities, you see all these dilapidated homes. People dying every day, right?
I'm with you. You
And
ready?
yet, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, the first thing we need to do is not compare ourselves to the States. That's the first thing, and I think it's very important to remove that type of understanding from our minds in any way, shape, or form. We cannot compare ourselves to a place that per capita beats us 10 million times, okay? So,
We got 350 million people.
okay, we have 400,000,
Yes.
right? So we have to understand what we have and where we are. That's the first thing. A buyer's market and how that looks in the States, it doesn't look the same way here, which is why I asked you the question, did you get a piece of the action
No, it did not.
in the buyer's market that had developed and formed due to the COVID virus and, of course, the inland revenue enforcement? Did you get a piece of that buyer's market?
You're saying I got to go.
I'm saying that.
Inland revenue.
I'm just saying simply this. The time frame would seem longer in the States, right? So you have a buyer's market here for, let's say, 6 months. You'll have a buyer's market in the States for
Couple years.
2 years, 3
Also,
years.
and you're saying it contracts very quickly.
Because per capita, we are different than the States.
Okay.
We have less people, therefore our buyer's market and the time that extends to is lessened. So we have to then be up to the times with the market. We have to stay up to trends with the market, which means having a good agent, making sure he's understanding of the market trends, understands the comparables in the markets when they fluctuate. He needs to be able to let you know, because our buyer's market ebbs and flows. It dips and comes and goes. So our buyer's market is definitely, and like the person told you, based on the inventory. It's based on the inventory. And the inventory was eaten up a lot by 2020 COVID incidents straight up to 2022. And then in the middle of 2022, heading into 2023, everything was taken up because you had buyers buying everything that was available. Now you have a market where there's less return on investment properties, there's less single family homes, and there's less of properties in a a marketable state, whereas I'm talking about dilapidated buildings, repossessed homes, things you're going to have to invest money into to bring back to life. And then the single family homes that are available are in those nooks, those way out east nooks, the old money, the old English money nooks. So you're going to have to pay a big penny for them because the appraisal on them and the comparables on them haven't dropped. So we have to understand where we are. We have to understand the market. How do you do that? You get yourself a great agent. You get yourself a great agent. Why? Because that's our job. Our job is to advise you of the market trends. Let you know when it's a buyer's market. Let you know when, hey, we're going to be in this for a minute. And you have to adopt a mentality based on the understanding that we are here, 400,000 people. It's going to be a journey, not a race. The inventory does not reflect racing. You cannot think about it as I'm going to get up today and I'm going to win the deal tomorrow. I'm going to take this journey. I'm going to look. I'm going to find. I'm going to enlist a great agent, and I'm going to get what I'm going to get as soon as it comes available on the market.
Now, on the inventory bit, right? As an estate agent, do you find, I feel like everywhere I look, it's a new strip mall. It's a new plaza. It's parts of Soldier Road. They got 5 plazas. None of them have full occupancy, and they're building the next one.
Okay.
When? Is there any pressure, or is there any? Because I once again, in college they tell you, say, economics, supply and demand, all this different stuff. Are we not demanding enough for the real estate? Not real estate, the residential properties?
Okay.
Or is there just that greater demand for commercial properties? And some of these commercial properties are just somebody old Grammy dead, and she happened to live on East Street.
Oh my goodness.
And now they're like, oh, well, we don't need this house to live in.
So we're going to turn it into commercial.
We can turn it into commercial space, and now instead of charging $800 to $1,200 or $1,500 a month, we can charge $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Because they're on the main road.
Okay.
How do we fix that? How do we fix that? Because it's like, to me, it feels like a problem. Now, maybe once again, this is just anecdotal. I'm just seeing what I see when I drive past. I could be wrong. Maybe the percentage or the ratio of
residential to commercial
is not as wide a gap as I think it is. But to me, it feels like the construction is a lot of commercial work.
Okay. I'll say this. This is going to be fun. We do have a lot of commercial buildings and entities popping up. In terms of the statement where you go, my Grammy's house, and it turns into a commercial strip mall, that shouldn't happen. Zoning does exist. We do have zoning. And once you're zoned commercial, you're going to see commercial entities pop up because that area is zoned for commercial. When individuals see the opportunity for traction in high traffic areas, they're going to invest, and that's what investors do. Now, the demand for residential has not decreased. It is still way far higher than the demand for commercial. However, the ability for investors to come together and eat up land quicker than an individual to buy a single family home or a single individual to invest in a duplex, it makes it seem to you as though more commercial buildings are going up. But there are processes going along.
Because they're able to move faster because they have more money.
Correct.
All right. That's, okay.
That's all it is, really. It's perception, right? At the end of the day, it's perception because you see a lot of commercial entities going up and you don't see the construction for a lot of single family entities. However, there are a lot of land and vacant land that has been bought with the intention of buildings being erected on them. Correct. So you have individuals who own land, sitting on it, relaxing on it, holding it for generational purposes. You have individuals who own land and simply haven't begun construction yet. You have individuals who own land in developments that are waiting to be bought. So there are many, many, many options for single family home, and the demand for it and single family homes as well as multifamily plexes is high. However, the perception of things being built currently is, it would seem that commercial buildings are being built at a faster rate, and that's expected. Why?
So don't stop.
Don't read too much into it. No, don't read too much into it. Don't protest just yet.
Don't
No.
go down Carmichael protest.
No,
Okay.
especially not Carmichael. Especially not Carmichael. I don't know if you can make it out.
Come on, they love me, Carmichael.
Okay.
They love me, Carmichael. Anyway, we can take another commercial break. When we come back, I want to ask you about, I know you say you don't watch the States, but there are some things, some practices happening in real estate over there
that you want to talk about.
that I'm a little
affect
concerned.
here.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So when we come back, we're going to talk about that. You are watching and listening to Sidebar 103B podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be right back.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Sidebar 103B podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. I'm here with De'Angelo Whyms, estate agent. Estate agent. All right? Because it sound cooler. All right? One of the things I wanted to bring up, right? I know you say, the United States is a different market.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough, right? Now here's the thing, all right? Because shelter is a need, a human need, all right? There is, that's why you could have landlords. There's a value to owning a piece of property that you don't necessarily live in, but other people will pay you to live in.
Land as well.
Right? So yeah, right? Now, some people have hotels, some people have apartments, some people have condos, whatever, all right?
Agreed.
There's a practice that is happening right now in the States where private equity firms, I think that's the term for it. But anyway, firms, people are getting together, they're purchasing a bunch of single-family homes, right? Mm-hmm. They're purchasing up a bunch of the, what's the word again? The inventory, right? Mm-hmm. And they own a significant amount of the inventory presently in the States, and they're not taking it and turning it into something else. It's single-family homes, but they're renting it to people, right? And the fear is that, particularly inside certain areas, right? Because this isn't only happening in the city. This is happening all over the place. So now there are people who will not be able to because they can move faster than you. There are teams of people who that's their only job. find this, buy it, right? It's easier for them to manage money because it's a capital investment. They got the capital. They're able to come there and drop the money on the table right there. You got to go to the bank and get a mortgage.
Okay.
I'm concerned. I know that we tend to be behind 15, 20 years, all right? But I'm concerned about if that were to ever hit the Bahamas.
Is it a possibility you're asking?
I mean, I'm sure. Is it?
It is possible, but it depends on what we allow, like I was saying. We as a people have to not, in a way, be sellouts. I know. I'm trying to be as solution-oriented as possible because we are a country that does allow purchasing of homes and land under $500,000, which is what the average and maybe even some of the more above average Bahamians can afford. The only thing that I can see us doing differently would be making that portion, right, $500K and down, exclusive to Bahamians. You know, it's the only way that I can see us cutting.
Because that brings me to the other thought because one of the questions I had for you was, and I think it's the Immovable Properties Act, where for a very long time, you could not sell property to persons who were not citizens.
Agreed.
The most you could do is you could lease it to them.
Yes.
But they could not own it.
Yes.
At some point, it was coming back. That helped to regulate the price because now only citizens. Now, within the Bahamas, you might have a millionaire here and there, right? But you don't have many billionaires.
Correct.
There are a couple rumored ones. But you know, it's not a swath of them.
Right.
But when you open up things in the world, now we getting into, there are hundreds of billionaires.
Yes.
Right? And if they say, oh, I want this piece of property, and the piece of property, let's say Eastern Road, right? I want this piece of property Eastern Road, right? You say, okay, how much you want for it? Now, initially the property probably was $250,000, $225,000 or something, right? Person come there and say, I want that. Oh, I have $2 million. Do you think that'll be enough? Exactly. The same face that you make is the face that the person probably... But now here's the thing. The first person to sell a piece of property for $1 million to $2 million, they say, oh, Lord, that's so good. Their neighbors say, oh, Lord, now, I paid $10,000 for this. Me and him buy our property at the same time. He sell this for $2 million. I want $2 million too. So now the whole street property value going up to $2 million.
That's gentrification.
But I'm saying, but now who, even if I came from the same sort of background as them, I just born 15 years after them, 20 years after them, will never be able to purchase. But this happened in the part of the reason for the price fluctuation is because the value of it went up because the people who could pay more for it outside of the country were allowed to purchase it, right? Now, what you're mentioning about maybe certain things are only for Bahamians.
I'm thinking solution-oriented.
Right.
And what you're explaining, once again, I'll say these things are possible, right? It's a scenario that we can superimpose and say, okay, suppose this happens, this, these steps will be taken. But the reality, once again, I go back to us per capita. Where's the return on investment for an individual spending $2 million on a $225,000?
Yeah, I mean, a Bahamian doesn't need to spend that for that because that don't make no sense.
So the reality behind it is, it's not a sound investment for anyone to do. Can it happen?
That's the thing. It don't need to be a sound investment for people who could drop
$1 million.
There are people in this world.
Yes.
Who they don't even know if they lose $1 million. Because don't forget, $1 billion is 100 million.
Agreed.
They have hundreds of billions.
Agreed.
So the point is like losing one out. If somebody say, "Wait, here's $1,000," and then you give away one of your $1,000, you don't even cry.
No.
That's $1 out of 1,000
in comparison.
Now imagine if you give away a penny or 10 cents out of your $1,000.
You don't feel it.
I can make it back.
Yeah, you don't feel it at all. No, you don't feel it at all.
Right, and so it's like, it's because the market is now open up to those individuals as well. And once again, not to say that this is the true of every person and that, every foreigner with a briefcase out to kill us or whatever, right? But at the same time, when you talk about solution-oriented, I cannot help but feel on the other side, it only take one person to get $2 million for a piece of property that they inherit for everybody else to be like, well, I can also get that. And so now and then they might not even be living in the house because there are many places.
That's a national discussion and a national choice.
Yeah.
You understand when I say it becomes a point of, we need to enforce legislation. We need to come to a consensus as to how we attack that should that begin to happen. You see, and I don't foresee it happening based on my understanding of the market and what's being bought now. You have a few individuals out there who want to get into the inner city, and not many of them do. The only prices that are $225 and those prices are inner city. And you don't have a lot of individuals or billionaires who want to get involved in that, because why? What's the return for them? So I understand what you're saying. I understand the impending danger that could present. I do not foresee it happening. So to answer your question as to how do we stop it, it has to start first in order to create a solution for it, right? And even if it doesn't start, we've already discussed potential solutions.
Yeah.
The potential solution would be to immediately cut them off access from a certain price point, leaving the exclusivity for Bahamians and generational wealth to occur within that price point. And that would cut that problem out of the way 100%.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
100%.
Yes. Aggression is, I don't think that presently that solution exists in
Not
law.
yet. No. It would require, and that's what affects real estate in the country: governmental policies, wages, and decisions made by homeowners and generational landowners. You have to understand the value of what you have before you let it go.
So inside your estimation as a estate agent, all right, outside of people knowing how the business operates, what do you see as the biggest, I guess, wall preventing persons from moving forward or getting into ownership?
Choices, financial literacy, habits. You know, I think that there's a lot to do with minimum wage. We always talk about it. We always talk about what our people are able to afford. The banks have a role to play. The government has a role to play, but we also have a role to play as people. Financial literacy is a big thing. And I think that understanding the process, once again, I always take things back to the beginning so that it all comes full circle. Understanding the process is the first step. You get you a good agent, second step. And the third step is being able to be disciplined and accountable for the steps you need to take to become an owner. It's not an impossibility for you to say within the next 5 years, within the next 3 years, within the next 2 years, I'm going to be an owner. But you have to hold yourself accountable to the process that's required. There are components required for you to become an owner. I need to be pre-qualified if I'm going through the bank. I need to have my down payment if I'm going through the bank. I need to get an appraisal. I need to have a survey. I need to get all of these things done. These are the components so that you can become an owner. Once you know the components, when you know better, do better. There's a way for everyone to become an owner, but we all have to own up to where we are, the type of place that we're in. Right. We know the rules of the land that we're in. It's impossible for us to just keep complaining without taking on some of the ownership on ourselves. If I save my money and I follow the steps I need to follow to become an owner based on the environment that I'm in, then I will. It's all down to my ability to choose good steps, good habits, based on the fact that I know what it's going to take me to become what I want to become. And that's with everything in life. It's all about management. I think at the end of the day, we definitely have a gripe that we can pick at all times with the government. There are definitely legislations and things that need to be enforced. However, we need to also take some accountability and save our money. Make the good steps. Stop going out. Stop partying. Stop spending it on this event. Vibes Cartel was just over here. I'm just saying, we fly over to Freeport for all of these different events. We fly this place.
Somebody has to go see Plies.
We got the money. We got the money to go to Miami and spend money over there. We got the money to buy the new car. We got the money to fix our hair. We got the money for everything else in our life, but we complain about why we ain't homeowners.
Listen, I'm with you, because we had this conversation before we started the show where your environment may affect you or impact you, right? But as soon as you figure out what the problem is, that's where personal responsibility starts.
Yes.
As soon as you figure out what the problem is, it's now on you to figure out how to fix it, right? You could have had the world's worst parents. As soon as you figure out the reason why I'm this way is because my parents never hugged me, it's now on you to start
ownership.
So yes, we live inside, and I agree with you. With that said,
Devil's advocate. There we go.
Right?
I knew it was coming.
This is the last question, just because we know the people listening, and if you were able to give one piece of advice and say, okay, not even advice, hey, if the government did this, this would help greatly. If there was one thing that you would, it could be legislation, and it could be within housing, it could be outside housing, because sometimes these ministries, they intersect with each other. What would it be?
There's so many things. Of course, everything is going to require legislation. And it's not just legislation, because let's take it back to property tax. Legislation has been on the books for years.
Enforcement.
It's not the thought of the thing, it's the application thereof, right? So if I had a piece of advice to give to the government and I said, hey guys, if you do this, our guys are going to be great, they're going to be happy. We discussed exclusivity of properties within a certain bracket. I think that's something that Bahamians would be appreciative of. We need better legislation on landlords, slum lords. We need better legislation on the ability for the normally waged Bahamian to be pre-qualified, not just with specific banks, but with all banks. Giving the Bahamian citizen options as to how they can get where they want to get, and that being the goal of home ownership. And then the next piece of advice would be to train the Bahamian people. The same process that I go to and I go through and I take you back to every single answer is so important. We need to make the information not just readily available, but we need to come up with a creative way that we can assist our people in being able to digest it, see it on a regular basis, understand it, because just having the ability to see the knowledge and not understanding is a different thing. So teaching our people, making sure that we have the knowledge, making sure that people are understanding of the steps and the market, and then they can become more realistic about what they need to do in order to get to the next step. So government, there's a lot you can do. A lot you can do. And I know that the Bahamas Real Estate Association is actively in talks with the government and engaged with the government, trying to get things on the books that assist our people in getting exactly that, not being homeownership. So creating exclusivity, enforcing laws on tenancy, landlords, and rental prices, creating additional housing. All of these things are within the power of the government, and they have the ability to do it. And dissemination of information, it's an easy thing to do, you know, easy thing to do. So a couple of easy things you can do. Let us know if you want to do it.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up. This is Sidebar, one of the B podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be right back.
Awesome sauce.
7.5 years, but I walk in here all of a sudden, total stranger. I'm calling you Rick and Sheila.
I win. At Island Lock, we take sports seriously. Get ready to experience the thrill of winning anytime and any place. Bet in real time and live the thrill of every play while watching your winnings stack up. It's your chance to score big with fast payouts and a world-class experience. Get in the game and bet the Bahamian way with Island Luck Sportsbook.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Darling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Kerry Commercial Vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Kerry Cargo Van and the Kerry Elephant Truck, and soon, flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you will need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 to B podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and De'Angelo, I'm going to let you get the final word. What is it that you want to leave us with?
I guess the most important thing to leave people with today would be that it is possible for you to be a homeowner. I think that was one of the first questions that was asked today. Is it possible for the average Bahamian to be a homeowner? The answer is yes. I want us to take that and understand, hey, there's just a couple of things that we need to do on our end. There's a couple of understandings that you may need to have. Speak to an agent, understand the process, and begin taking the steps that's required of you so that you can make the choices you need to make to be a homeowner. And it's all that simple. Couple of steps, couple of changes, have the good habits, make the right choices, save the funds you need so that you can become a homeowner.
All right. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for having me, man.
No problem. And thank you for joining us. Once again, this has been Sidebar, a 103 to B podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. True God still.
True God still.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?